amid the rising concerns over a possible fuel shortage and speculation of a nationwide shutdown, the centre has issued a strong clarification. There is no plan to impose a lockdown in India. Well, that is the big breaking news that we are beginning the bulletin with. Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the government is closely monitoring the evolving global situation, particularly in energy markets and supply chains. He also dismissed rumours of a lockdown as completely false, urging citizens to remain calm and not fall prey to misinformation. The government warned that spreading panic through unverified claims is irresponsible and harmful, especially during sensitive times. Puri added that under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the government is fully prepared to tackle any emerging challenges and maintain supply stability across the country. Echoing this, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman sought to reassure citizens, stating clearly that the government has no intention to enforce any lockdown and that the essential supplies will remain stable.
I am surprised that some leaders are saying things like there will be a lockdown and there will be, shortages of LPG, shortages of diesel and so on. These are absolutely baseless, and remarks such as these coming from leaders in political domain is really worrisome. Instead of keeping people together in confidence and giving them the assurance that the central government and state governments are working together and ensuring supply without any disruption for people, because these are essential goods. There are some leaders who are going about saying there will be lockdown and so on. These are absolutely baseless. There shall be no such lockdown like the time when we saw it all in COVID, but no lockdown. But when people are misleading, leaders such as some coming from different states who are misleading people, I condemn their statement and want to reassure people that there shall not be any lockdown.
My colleague Brijesh Pandey is joining me right now to get us more details. Well, Brijesh, this statement that the government has made is essentially to reassure the people of the country, the citizens at large, that there is going to be no lockdown-like situation that may arise in the near future. Now, while this is going to be helping as far as putting the rumours to rest, but the situation on ground is quite different. There might be an area of concern as far as panic buying is concerned and hoarding is concerned. But when it comes to procurement of either the LPG or when it comes to the other energy oils as well, people are finding it extremely hard.
Well, we have to understand one thing, which is that, that nobody is saying that situation is not, has not changed ever since the war has started, because we all are aware of what the geopolitical situation currently is and how, the Strait of Hormuz plays an extremely crucial role as far as supply of India's energy need is concerned. So if anybody is saying that there is no disquiet on the road, then that would be lying. But the fact of the matter is that the situation is also not that desperate, which would lead to imposition of something as drastic as lockdown is concerned. Because, majority of these panic buyings are also happening because of rumours. People are reaching there, people are getting extra fuel filled in all their cars, people are, booking cylinders much in advance and, in excess of what their requirement is. And all this is because of a lot of rumour mongering which is happening. And what it is doing is that it is creating stress on already stressed out situation. India is one of the 5 countries which Iran has given permission to, to take its flag-bearing vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. And India is also in touch with and talks with various other countries to make sure that they are able to procure cylinders, the LPG cylinders, and there is no shortage of petrol and diesels. Yes, there is a squeeze on the ground, and nobody can deny that. But the fact is that also we have to understand that rumour mongering creates a completely unnecessary stress on the situation, which is also which is anyways facing a lot of testing time. And this is the reason why the government, both the top 2 ministers, finance minister and petroleum ministers, have come on record saying that there is no such, there is no truth to the rumours which are being said that there is going to be a lockdown kind of a situation.
Absolutely, Brijesh. Are you trying to say that there are these vested interest groups who are trying to deliberately orchestrate this sort of rumor mongering? Because see, elections are also around the corner, especially in very important states. Going forward, situation is only going to become more sensitive and dire if there is actually a shortage. The government is assuring they have a 60-day supply now. It is reassuring to see the finance minister also stepping out and making that statement in the same light. But are the people really buying it?
Well, it's a question of, having a very realistic appraisal of the situation. See, there's no denying that there's a war in Middle East and which is causing energy havoc across the world. And there's no government on earth can really contain, whether it is a BJP government or a Congress government which can contain a situation which is literally outside their jurisdiction. The fact of the matter is that ever since the crisis started, one of the key worry for the government was whether they will be able to get their ships across the Strait of Hormuz. And post, Prime Minister's conversation, and then we heard, Iranian ambassador to India saying that, India is a friendly country and India is going to be one of the 5 countries which we will allow their vessels to pass through Strait of Hormuz. And the fact that, now we are buying oils from Russia and other countries, there is a disruption of supply and there's no denying that. But the fact of the matter also is that the situation is not dire to impose something as drastic as lockdown. These are two completely different scenarios. What the government is saying and what we have seen in this happening several times, whenever rumor mongering has led to a lot of crisis and a lot of inflation of the actual situation which is there on the ground. I've personally seen, small vehicles carrying cylinders, a couple of cops escorting them to make sure that everybody falls in lines and, they get their cylinders. There is a paucity. But the fact of the matter is the paucity is not to the level where it will force the government to impose a lockdown. We don't know what will happen if the current crisis continues for another 1 month, say, for example. Then it could be economic and energy catastrophe across the world, and India cannot be in isolation. But that is, something which we'll have to wait and watch for as to how long the war lasts.
Absolutely, Brajesh, and it has to work in a tandem with the state governments. It has to be a teamwork when it comes to the crackdown at all these places where hoardings are taking place. The government in their briefing has made it very clear that they've carried out raids as well. And it's for people also to be responsible and reject these rumors when the government is making that assurance. Well, thank you, Brajesh, for getting us all those details. We shall leave it at that for the moment.